Thanks for everybody who's out there at home or wherever you might be in Baghdad or in the many bases around the world for listening in and paying attention to what we're doing here. It's very important. My name is Garett Reppenhagen. I served as a cavalry scout in the 1st Infantry Division with Jeff Engelhart, and I went on to go to the target interdiction course in Stettin, Germany, and became a sniper, where I served as a sniper for a year in Iraq between February 4 and February 5 around Baqiba in the Sunni Triangle. During our time, we did start one of the first anti-war mill blogs, Fight to Survive, and we were involved in a variety of GI resistance, and a lot of that didn't entail going AWOL or breaking Army regulations. In fact, in our entire GI resistance campaign that we did, we followed Army regulations to a T, and that led to us still getting an honorable discharge. And one of the most important things I want to let everybody know is that there are ways to resist this war within Army regulations. One of the most important things about our U.S. military is you're a citizen soldier. You still obtain your rights as a citizen, and you're able to use those rights, and you should, since you're the ones sacrificing basically to protect those rights. So it'll be a shame if the actual use of your First Amendment right becomes unpatriotic. I joined Iraq Veterans Against the War when they first started out. Me and Jeff and various other soldiers that were deployed at the time was resisting before we knew there was an IVAW, before there was a Sir No Sir or GI revolt out. We started resisting, and when IVAW formed up in the summer of 2004, I got contacted by some of the members, Kelly Doherty, Camillo, and some of the other founding members we got in touch with, and that as a result I became the first active duty member of Iraq Veterans Against the War. So we're talking today about the future of GI resistance, and you can't help but try to predict the future by looking at the past. And I just think this Winter Soldier is so incredible. We're doing this far earlier than what the Vietnam vets did, thanks to their mentorship and their leadership and some of their guidance. We were able to put this together 5 years after our invasion and our occupation of Iraq. If you realize it, the Vietnam veterans, they conducted their Winter Soldier in 1971. And Vietnam War started in 1959. That's more than 10 years after the engagement started. If you look at, that's also 3 years after the Tet Offensive, which was in 1968. We had over 400,000 American troops deployed in Vietnam at the time. We lost over 14,000 soldiers killed in action during that time in Vietnam. And I feel that we're ahead of the game, and one of the most powerful things, we might be less in numbers, and we might have less of a voice in the political atmosphere and the social atmosphere in America is very different now. But if we can start this resistance early, if we can get a jump on this movement, we can end this war before there's a Tet Offensive in Iraq. So let's compare Iraq and Vietnam. You're looking at a country, Vietnam, who's far smaller in geographical size, population, less diversity ethnically, less diversity religiously, politically. There's definitely less natural resources underneath the soil. So this has the potential of being a larger regional dynamics involved that could explode and could be far worse than what we saw in Vietnam. So it's important to look at this, and if we don't stop these occupations, this will escalate into a size greater than I think any of us are willing to sacrifice for. So the military is very different now than it was in Vietnam. So when we look at GI resistance, we also got to look at what our military is doing. There's not a draft today, and that that awareness out there in America. There's not college students that is fearing that they're going to get called up and put into this war. There's not parents out there scared to death that their child is going to be called up into service involuntarily. 75% of this war's veterans are still in the military. So the population of the pool of veterans that are out there, don't exist like they did in Vietnam. These men and women are still stuck in the military through stop-loss orders, through individual ready reserve programs. There's a different type of soldier today. They're career soldiers. They're professional soldiers. The men and women that I served with, many of them, that was their career, that was their job, and they took honor in that, and they didn't want to give that up. They might not have wanted to go to Iraq or Afghanistan over and over again, but they did take pride in the fact that they were soldiers, and they didn't want to lose that. Many of them have wives and husbands and kids that they're trying to support, and they thought that the military would be a good way to do that, a good career and a good job to do that. They didn't ask to be sent to Iraq into an illegal occupation of another country and basically oppress a people who don't want us there. They just wanted to be used in a just way when all peaceful solutions have been exhausted. That's when they thought they would be sent into harm's way. Rotations are different now. Soldiers don't go to Iraq one at a time. There's not entire divisions that stay in Iraq and then just the individual pieces come in and out. We're moving entire divisions in and entire divisions out. The men that I served with are the same men I served with when I was in Kosovo. They're the same men I trained with when I was in Germany and went to the field with in Czech. And they're the same men that I went to Iraq with. There's a higher loyalty and unit cohesion now that's very difficult to give up. And many of these men and women feel that the military is their family, and they don't even understand us here at home and what civilians are doing. So they're comfortable in their role in the military, and they don't want to abandon their friends and family. But that doesn't mean that they want to serve in Iraq over and over again. And there's many benefits available to these men and women. They're offered GI Bills for college. They're given health insurance. They're given a nice, safe base to live on, where their wives can go shop at the PX or the husbands can shop at the commissary. Their kids are going to school in a safe environment, in a closed healthy environment. And that's hard to give up as well. So when you ask why don't soldiers resist, these are all these reasons why they don't. Many of them are scared to hell to go onto the outside world and try to get a job, when all they've been is a machine gunner since they've been 18 years old. So 3 reasons why soldiers basically continue this is the benefits, the options, and the loyalty and pride to service. But there's solutions to all these. We can develop programs that give soldiers benefits, like maybe education for tuition. We can start funds that help soldiers who resist the war, that lose those college benefits, to get those and replace the benefits that the military would have given them. We could help hire veterans in the peace communities and in the movement, and we could give them jobs, and we could give them job training, and we could put them to work so they have some place to land once they decide that they want to turn their back on this war. And they can join this movement, and there's a lot of pride and loyalty in joining our Army and our Corps, and fight for a cause that they believe in, fight for a cause that will change America for the better and stop these occupations. So when we're not going to come out and we're not going to recruit soldiers. We're not going to go recruit veterans. We're not going to try to trick you into joining us and into joining our cause, but we will ask you to, because there is a fight coming, and it's a fight to improve America and improve this military, and we're asking you to join us. So if you're out there listening and you're dedicated to what we're talking about here at Winter Soldier, and you want to improve your military, and you want to improve our country in this world, this is a good way to do it. And there's a lot of men and women who are joining us right now. Our website right now is getting more membership applications than we can handle. So So please go to ivaw.org, and there's membership applications on there. We'll give you information on how you can resist if you want to stay in the military and you don't want to break Army regulations. If you don't want to get in trouble, there's still ways you can use your amendment rights, and you can take advantage of this. Please be patient. There will be time when the website will be free and you can put your application in, and join us to end this occupation. Thank you.